What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel. And I just went out to a late dinner, got back, and this Ariel Helwani video popped up with many pieces of breaking news. Apparently, Dana White, I saw that he had an Instagram post where he was saying, you want to tune in for this, because he had a massive amounts of announcements to make. And these are the announcements. There's actually more than just what I'm going to recap here, but these are the four big ones that I wanted to talk about first. And Justin and I will talk about these more in detail on Friday. But this is crazy and very exciting. And I want to give you my thoughts and reaction in real time. I've literally just found out about this about 5 minutes ago, came home, sat down, made a quick little slideshow, and here we go. Let's get into it. So breaking news, massive news for the UFC. News piece number one, Ilia Topuria has vacated the featherweight title. Okay, so why did he do this? Obviously, people have been saying that he wants to move up and he wants to challenge Islam at lightweight, but there's actually more to this than simply him wanting to be a double champ. I've heard people talk about this. I've heard many folks mention that Ilia has an issue making the weight. Making featherweight has become increasingly difficult. I know he's talked about during his weight cut how he drinks a liter of wine and that helps him relax and go to sleep. And he's described it overall as a pleasant experience, but it seems that people who are close to him have said apparently that the weight cut's difficult. I don't know if this is 100% true, but this is what I've heard. So he's not even, it's not like he's going to try and hold on to this belt while he challenges for the 155 title. It looks like he's officially making the move. Now, when it comes to what's next for him, I've said this before. I wasn't super amped on this idea of Ilia fighting Islam. I'll tell you why. Again, we already had that fight with him versus Volkanovski twice, and he won both of those. And it seems like he gets a very small amount of respect for those fights, despite the fact that when he beat Volkanovski was number one, I believe, on the pound-for-pound list, and Islam was number two. And then he beat him again even more easily, and people are saying, well, it was a quick turnaround. He wasn't fully in shape. I mean, there's just excuses after excuses. And then on top of it, the lower weight class moving up to the higher weight class, people think that Islam was bigger, was just able to be more dominant because of the size discrepancy. So bottom line is he never really got a ton of credit for those victories, even though they were highly impressive. Now it's like he's in the same situation once again. Guy from a lower weight class is coming up to achieve greatness at the expense, to some degree, in my opinion, of what Islam is trying to achieve in the sport. He doesn't want to go down. He wants to move up. He wants the welterweight title. That's what he wants. So I feel like the UFC is likely going to make him take this fight or entice him with so much money that he's not going to want to turn it down. It is what it is. Look, don't get me wrong. This is going to be an amazing fight, a massive fight. Ariel's saying maybe they'll key it up for International Fight Week in July. Who knows? And maybe it won't happen. But anyways, I just wanted to say, from the standpoint of being an Islam fan, purely an Islam fan, I want to see him move up and challenge that welterweight title, because I know that's what he wants. And I think it makes more sense because I do think he's he's big enough that he could do that no problem. I think he would dominate in the welterweight division. But anyways, we shall see. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not going to be Ilia versus Islam. Maybe it's going to be Ilia versus Charles Oliveira, as he's mentioned. I doubt it, though. I feel like it's too big of a fight, and it would get so much attention with how popular Ilia's gotten with his incredible victories last year against Max Holloway and Volkanovski, and obviously Islam coming off that crazy victory. Granted, it was a last-minute change, and he had to take Money Moicano on short notice, but still impressive, dominant. He's been flawless. He's been impeccable. He's been incredible. So if that's the fight they make, I mean, it is what it is. Let's go for it. But like I said, I do eventually want to see Islam move up and challenge for the welterweight title. Moving on, we have the next big piece of news that is related to Ilia vacating the title. Guess who's fighting for the vacant title? Volkanovski versus Diego. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Diego Lopes. Let me fix this for you guys. Hold on. We're going to back up. Oops, got a sneak peek of 3. Can't let this spelling mistake stand. That's embarrassing. All right, so there we go. Diego Lopes is going to be challenging Volkanovski, and that's exciting as heck because everybody loves Diego Lopes. He's got one of the most exciting fighting styles in the 145 division, and who doesn't love Volkanovski? He is one of the biggest fan favorites at this point, having done so much in that division. I think this is actually pretty awesome. I was looking forward to seeing Volkanovski rematch Ilia, although I felt as though Ilia was likely going to have the advantage there, but this is so cool now. And it's one of those fights where I'll be happy with either outcome. I'd love to see Volkanovski reclaim the title and maybe going out on top, especially as he's opened up about some of the psychological battles he's had to deal with, him wanting to stay active, and him coming back and getting the shot to reclaim the throne and then maybe step away. Maybe he'll keep fighting. Who knows? We shall see. And then, of course, if Diego Lopes wins, dude, he's one of the most exciting, incredible fighters in that division, maybe in the history of that division. So if he goes in and gets the belt, everybody loves Diego Lopes. It's kind of a win-win for fans. So this is and that, this fight's going to be crazy in Miami, April 12th. I think this is in Miami. Wait, the UFC 314, I think it's in Miami, and I think UFC 315 is in Montreal, but I can't remember for sure. But anyways, UFC 314, April 12th. Let's go for the vacant featherweight title. Very, very exciting, very interesting. All right. Now we go to item number 3. More and more is happening. Apparently, Shavkat is injured and he's out of the title fight, which is highly disappointing. But now it's going to be Belal versus JDM, Jack Della Maddalena. I always have a difficulty pronouncing his name. But that guy, Jack Della Maddalena, if you haven't looked at his record recently, it is out of control, the amount of consecutive wins he's had. He's on a tear. I think he just had a broken bone, a broken arm, and now he's recovered. He's getting slid into this title shot. And wow, I think this is going to be a banger of a fight. Let's see. Both of these guys have been on a super long unbeaten streak. I can't remember exactly for JDM. We all know for Belal, he hasn't lost in a very, very long time. So this is going to be a great fight. And then let's see what happens after this fight. It's going to be very interesting. If Belal wins, he's been talking about moving up. Maybe he will. If JDM wins, maybe Islam can finally move up and challenge for the welterweight title, because it seems like he will likely not fight Belal, although that's not a guarantee either. But anyways, we got a title fight finally for the welterweight division, May 10th. Again, I think this one is in Canada. But anyways, this is great. Now we move on to arguably the most exciting announcement of all of these. And it's not a title fight. It's Paddy the Baddy versus Michael Chandler, UFC 314, April 12th. Now, we made a video on this channel about this months ago, where there was some post where Paddy in one of his videos said, all right, guys, that's it. See you at the top. And we reported it. Other people reported. They thought, hey, maybe this was an indication that it was Paddy versus Chandler, that this was the fight that was happening. And then it came out later that there was no record of this, no indication of this. Nobody had talked about this, and it was essentially fake news. But Paddy did say that. He did say that, see you at the top line. And I think now, looking back, there must have been something to it. And, of course, the proof is in the pudding. This fight is going down. Paddy versus Chandler, UFC 314, April 12th. This is going to be such a good card, UFC 314. Now, let me tell you why I think this fight is awesome. First of all, whatever people want to say negative about Paddy, he's exciting. His fights are always great. And he's on the rise. This is his shot. This is his shot to break into, I think he's in the top. I know he's in the top 15. He might already even be in the top 10. But if he beats Chandler, he's going to definitely be squarely in that top 10. Maybe even depending on how he wins. I mean, God, it's just crazy that he might even get close to that top 5 in the lightweight division, considering how negatively people have talked about Paddy and saying that he's been given an easy path in the lightweight division. He's not that good. He sucks. Everybody says these things, and he is good. It's ridiculous. Like, ask Justin. Justin's a professional fighter. Ask real professional fighters. They will admit and say that Paddy is a great fighter. Yes, he's got a lot of hype. Maybe some people are jealous of him, but at the end of the day, the dude can fight. And Chandler has never been in a boring fight. He can't be in boring fights. So this fight's going to be incredible. And I think Paddy's got a good shot of winning this. And while I do like Michael Chandler and I am a fan of his, I want to see Paddy win. And I want to see him get catapulted up and really see what he can do at the top of the division. Also, what's crazy is now Ilia's in the same division as Paddy. And they had this beef from way back in the day that was totally legit when Paddy and Ilia had a disagreement over some post Paddy made. I don't want to get into that, but Paddy threw a hand sanitizer bottle off of Ilia's forehead at a previous UFC event. Now they're in the same division. I mean, who knows? This is wild. This is wild. A lot of big announcements and a lot of interesting matchups that are going to be made as a result. A lot of interesting drama. We love drama in this sport. So anyways, like I said, it's 12:23, 3:33 on the East Coast, 3:23, on the East Coast in the morning. But I had to talk about this. I had to get this out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Which of these 4 announcements, and by the way, there's more announcements that I haven't even talked about. We'll talk about them on Friday. But which of these 4 announcements are you guys most excited for? For me, God, I hate to say it, it's number 4. It's Paddy versus Chandler. Because the implications of what Paddy can do in this division, a lot of the questions of his true potential will be answered on this night. That's what this sport's about, answering those questions. It's amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please click that like button if you like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more from the 10-7 MMA channel. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.